Hola, compañeros, and hello from Virginia, Minnesota, where I am at today uh, with the tennis team, and just thought I'd make a quick video here for you to fully understand what the learning target is for today. If you look up on the board, you'll see that today we are going to be practicing los mandatos negativos. So, Mr. Fogarty today, your substitute, Senor Fogarty, will be with you guys today, and I kind of gave him a run through on what the rules of the class are. So during this presentation, you should not have your phone out, nor should you have your computer out. One thing you should have out, though, is your pasaporte. So, Esteban, if you have not given them their pasaportes back yet, go ahead and hand it out. If that's the case, go ahead and pause this video for a couple minutes until you get your passports. If you already have your pasaportes, then go ahead and open up to a clean page, and we are going to put Tarea 12, los mandatos negativos. You do not need to copy down parte uno yet. You can just copy down the header, Tarea 12, los mandatos negativos. Muy bien, compañeros. So, just a quick review about mandatos. We studied before this how to make affirmative commands when we tell somebody, eat your potatoes, or drink your milk, or wash your dishes. Those are what we call affirmative commands. Why? Because you're telling somebody, do it. Do it, do it, do it. Now, when we make negative commands, it's the opposite. In English, instead of saying do it, we say don't do it. So instead of drink your milk, we say don't drink your milk. Eat your potatoes, don't eat your potatoes. Wash your dishes, don't wash your dishes. So those are negative commands. Now in English, it's super simple. You put the word don't in front of whatever the action is, and it becomes a negative command. Well, in Spanish, as you know, it could never be that easy. There has to be 100 different ways of conjugating verbs to be in that negative command tense. So that is what this lesson is going to talk about. So we talked a little bit about this yesterday, the steps for making a verb in the command form. So parte uno in your pasaportes is going to say the following. Parte uno, ¿cómo se forma? Go yo, drop the O, add the op, hippity hop onto the other side where you're going to add the no. Muy bien. So go ahead and in your pasaportes, go ahead and start with parte uno, ¿cómo se forma? And we're going to follow those 5 simple steps. If you can follow those 5 simple steps, you can conjugate any verb into the negative command form, unless it's one of the 4 irregulars that we will talk about. But again, for 3 million verbs out there, for there only to be 4 irregulars, that's not bad. So go yo, drop the O, add the op, hippity hop over to the other side where you're going to add the no. See? Muy bien, muy bien. So I'm just going to show you a quick example then. You don't need to copy this down for now. So if our verb is tener, why do we go yo? Because the yo form sometimes is a little bit different. Like we know the verb tener, it's irregular in the yo form. So you want to go yo. We're going to write out, Emilio, help us out. Yo tango. Gracias, Emilio. Yo tango. Then what does the formula tell us to do? Go yo, drop the O. So let's drop that O. And then it tells us to add the op. So if you remember from yesterday, what's the opposite of an ER verb, tener is an ER verb, the opposite would be an AS in this case. So we're going to add our AS, add the op, and then add the no. So we're going to add the no right there. Put our accents on, or our exclamation points on both sides. So, no tengas. I can't really think of a good way to use this. If you tell someone, have a good weekend, ten un buen fin de semana, the negative command would be, don't have a good weekend. I don't think I've ever said that to anybody before. I'm a little bit too nice of a person to wish somebody to not have a nice weekend. But if you wanted to tell someone, don't have a nice weekend, you could tell them, no tengas un buen fin de semana. See? Okay, so let's start with parte dos here and talk about opposite endings, because when we read through the 5 steps, go, yo, drop the O, it tells us to add the op. So if you're working with an AR verb like hablar and you go yo, you're going to end up with hablo. You're going to drop that O and you're going to add the opposite of an AR because hablar is an AR verb. So your opposite's going to be an ES and you're going to be left with no hables, like the song Don't Speak, or that no hables, see? Perfecto, perfecto. So, and then you add the no and you get no hables. So basically, go ahead and copy these down. These are what we call our opposite endings. So the formula, go yo, drop the O, add the op. Here's the opposite. AR verbs like hablar, no hables. I'll go ahead and write these. No hables if the verb was hablar. Verbs like comer, which are ER verbs. No comas, because the opposite of an ER is an AS. Verbs like escribir, don't write in your book. No escribas. See? IR verb, add an AS. So that's what it looks like when you go ahead and add your ops. See? Muy bien. Muy bien. If I'm going too fast here, feel welcome to pause the video for a few seconds if you need a little more time to write things down. See? So the next question is, why do we have to go yo? If we look at a verb like hablar, and we go yo, we're at hablo, and we drop the O and we add an op, we're at hables, couldn't we just start with hablar and take off the AR and add an ES? With comer, couldn't we just go comer, drop the ER and add an AS? For escribir, couldn't we just drop the IR and add an AS? Well, for very regular verbs like hablar, comer, and escribir, yes, you could do that. But the reason we have to go yo before we drop the O and add the op is because there are many verbs like tener that are irregular in the yo form. And if the verb is irregular in the yo form, we know it has to be irregular in the negative command form. So, parte tres, these are verbs that are irregular in the yo form. These are ones that I like to call the yo-G. The yo-G verbs, like the guy in the picture there, ¿verdad? These all get a G in the yo form. Tener is tango. Poner is pongo. Salir es salgo. Venir es vengo. Hacer es hago. Decir es digo. Traer es traigo. Caer es caigo. These all get a G in the yo form. So that's the reason we have to go yo, drop the O, add the op, is because if the verb, like these 8, is irregular in the yo form, it is also going to be irregular in the negative command form, because we go yo, drop the O, add the op, hippity hop. So let's use poner, to put. Tell somebody to set the table. Pon la mesa. Tell somebody not to set the table. Go yo. Got pongo. Drop the O. Pong. Add the op. Opposite ending of an ER verb is an AS. No. Then hippity hop, add the no. No pongas la mesa, do not put the table. No pongas la mesa, do not put the table. See how that works? Muy bien. That's why we have to go yo. If we didn't go yo, there's no way that we would get that G in there. The G is necessary. Otherwise, it's incorrecto. ¿Sí? Muy bien. There's one more class of verbs. So this is still parte tres. To be continued here. These are what I call yo-z. Yo-z verbs. They are conducir, conocer, y traducir. I call them yo-z because the yo form gets a z in them. Yo conduzco. Yo conozco. Yo traduzco. Now, when we go yo, drop the o, add the op, we need to get rid of those o's and add the opposite endings. Opposite of an ir verb in conducir is conduzcas. Don't drive. Maybe I could say no conduzcas muy rápido. Do not drive very quickly. You'll get a speeding ticket. No conduzcas rápidamente. Again, why do we have to go yo? Because the yo form gets that z. If you don't go yo, you don't get the z. Without the z, it is incorrecto in the negative command form. ¿Entienden? ¿Sí o no? ¿Sí o no? ¿Sí o no? Perfecto. Muy bien, compañeros. Parte 4 en los pasaportes, slightly irregular verbs in the negative command form. Go ahead, skip a page if you need to. This one will take up a little bit more space because we are going to talk about 3 verbs that are slightly irregular in the negative to command form. The first type are types of verbs that end with gar, for example, pagar, pegar, jugar. Then we have the car verbs like tocar, sacar, and then we have verbs that end with zar like empezar, comenzar, etc., etc. So I will tell you how these verbs are slightly irregular. When you go to add the opposite ending on these verbs, one would think that a verb like pagar, if you follow the rules, would be go yo, pago, drop the o, pag, add the op, and you would have what looks in English like pages. However, if you go to pronounce this word right now in the negative command form, add the no, add the op, it would read the following: no pajes. No pajes. Even though, listen to the pronunciation of our original verb, pagar, pagar, no pajes. Does that sound correct? If you said no, you are absolutely correct. It does not sound correct. Why? Because the verb, again, pagar, needs a stronger G there. It needs pagar with that g sound. Therefore, we need to add one special letter here between the G and the E. Emilio, what do you think that letter is? No, it is not I. Good guess. Ha, just kidding. Hopefully you said the letter U. Yes, no pagues. Notice how with the U, we have that preservation of the g sound. No pagues. So how are gar verbs slightly irregular? Well, when you conjugate them in the negative command form, you need a ues. So it's now going to end with gues. So no pagues. That's how it's going to look. See? Muy bien. So that takes care of our gar verbs. Now let's talk about our car verbs. We are going to use tocar as an example. And when you conjugate this, you want to write something like yo form. Sorry, I'm not going to put the no yet. Let's just do the yo form of tocar is toko. So if you drop the o and add the ap, it would look something like this. But when you go to read this, what does it read? It reads no toses. Uh-oh, we have a problem here. The verb is tocar, strong C. What we have right now reads no toses with a soft C. Uh-oh, we have a problem. We're going to need to get rid of that C and replace it with what letter? Catalina Bianca. No, not a K. You're right. That K would actually sound right, no toques, but we need something better. How about Paola? No, not an X. Good guess, though. Ha, just joking. Hopefully you said a Q, U. So we have no toques. See how that works? Instead of no toses, now we have no toques. So basically, the idea of these is we are adding different letters to preserve those phonetic sounds in the original verb. See? So, CAR verbs get a QUE. Muy bien. So I'll give you a second to write down those examples. Pagar, no pagues. Tocar, no toques. And now let's do empezar. We'll do empezar in purple. Haven't used purple yet. So, empezar, what do we know about empezar, Margarita? Empezar in the present simple is a special kind of verb. If you look back to the doors of our cabinets, you will find empezar. If it's on the doors to our cabinets, that can mean one thing and one thing only, that empezar must be a, muy bien, stem change or boot verb. It's an E to IE, so the yo form is empiezo. Muy bien, empiezo. So we drop the O, and we add the ap, an ES, and add the no. We're now left with no empieces. No empieces, but our actual verb is empezar. If we have empezar, can the negative to command be empieces? No, it can't. What do we have to change that Z to? Let's go with Julieta. Ese es incorrecto. Why don't we try Catalina? If you said se, you are absolutamente correcto. So basically, verbs that are, one second here. Let's go ahead and get my underlining tool. Verbs that are ZAR verbs in the negative command form, instead of getting a ZES, get a CES. Muy bien. So that is parte cuatro. Verbs that end with gar, car, and zar. Pagar, no pagues. Tocar, no toques. Empezar, no empieces. Perfecto, perfecto. Vamos con parte cinco. There are only 4 verbs that are completamente irregulares, completely irregular in the negative command form, meaning you cannot go yo, drop the o, add the ap, hippity hop, add the no. If you do it that way, it just does not work. So that's not bad, because as we mentioned, there's over 1 million verbs in the Spanish language. If only 4 of them are irregular, I think we can live with that, ¿verdad? So let's talk about ser. It's irregular because the yo form of ser is soy, but you can't say no soyas. Doesn't work. So we're actually going to say the following. There's really no rule of thumb here. It's just memorizing. No seas. For example, no seas estúpido. Don't be stupid. No seas estúpido. See? So no seas for ser. Another one. Estar, the yo form of estar is estoy, but you can't say no estoyas. That just doesn't make sense. So you have to say no estés, and it's going to have an accent mark over the E. No estés. Here, let's go ahead and move these ones over here. Okay, no estés. For example, no estés tímido. Don't be shy. No estés tímido. Muy bien. Dar, to give. The yo form also ends with a Y. Notice the pattern here. All of the irregulars end with a Y. So yo form is doy. You can't say no doyas. No doyas. That just sounds strange. So we're going to say it with another accent mark. No des. Dar is to give. So no des. Don't give food to the bear. No des comida al oso. There's probably signs saying that in the zoo. And if you go to Latin America somewhere to a zoo, you probably see signs all over that say, no des comida al oso, don't give food to the bear. Muy bien. And then our last verb, one of the most, if not the most, irregular verb in the nature of the Spanish language is ir, to go. The yo form is voy, but you can't say no voyas. Close. Sounds about right. We actually have to say no vayas. No vayas a la escuela el sábado. Don't go to school on Saturday. There is no school. No vayas. See? Muy bien. So that is parte 5. Muy bien. So let's do a quick recap here of todas las partes de la tarea. Muy bien. Basically, parte 1, the basic forms, when you have regular verbs, the formula is go yo, drop the O, add the op, hippity hop, add the no. See? And then when we see that into play, tener, yo form tengo, drop the O, add the op, no tengas un buen fin de semana. What a jerk if somebody said that. See? What a jerk. Parte 2, these are the opposite endings. For AR verbs, you add an ES. No hables. For ER verbs, you add an AS. No comas. For IR verbs, you add an AS. No escribas en el libro, por favor. Parte 3 talked about some common irregular verbs in the yo form. Here are 8 that end with a G in the yo form. Tener es tengo, poner es pongo, salir es salgo, venir es vengo, hacer es hago, decir es digo, traer es traigo, caer es caigo. So when you're dealing with these verbs, you need to have that G in the negative command because that G is also in the present simple yo form. And that's what you do. You go yo, drop the O, add the op, hippity hop, add the no. Part 3 continued, some more commonly irregular verbs in the yo form, the ones that get the yo Z. Conducir, conduzco. Conocer, conozco. Traducir, traduzco. No conduzcas, no conozcas. No traduzcas. See? And then we had the gar, car, zar verbs that basically when you go yo, drop the O, and add the op, it's not quite enough because you need to preserve that sound from the verb. You need to preserve that g, k, sa. See? So you have to do no pagues, G-U-E-S. No toques, Q-U-E-S. No empieces, C-E-S. See? And then we have the infamous 4 that are just plain out irregular. You cannot go yo, drop the O, add the op. Just a new form that you have to memorize. See? Okay, perfecto. Parte 6. This will be the last part of your tarea, and this involves a little doodling. So, parte 6. A practicar. I would like you to write me 5 negative commands of your choice. Give me some wise advice about things I should not do here in Thief River. I'm still relatively new to town. I've only lived here for about a year and a half. I don't know the do's and don'ts yet. One thing that somebody has told me is No nades en el río. Do not swim in the river, whatever you do. So I know that one. If you could give me 5 different ones, that would be perfect. And then you get to do a little doodle drawing. Basically, draw somebody doing the action, but crossing it out, saying don't do it. See? Don't tell me nada en el río, swim in the river. Tell me no nades en el río, do not swim in the river. See? Okay, perfecto, perfecto. If you can't think of anything that I shouldn't do in Thief River, maybe just things that I shouldn't do in general. For example, don't touch the hot stove, right? Okay, perfecto, perfecto. No, don't text and drive. That's a good one for this week, see? Muy bien.